it's your 5-star realtor, Joshua Ingram, partnered with Hayes Properties Team, brokered by EXP. Listen here, we got a brand new episode on the Dream Builders podcast with my special guest, Chris Lane, with the network at Movement Mortgage. How you doing today?
Great.
Doing good. And I cannot forget my co-host, the man of the hour, Bradford Page with Page Properties Team. How you doing today?
Good afternoon.
Doing good. So Chris, tell us about what's going on in the market in real estate right now as a lender.
Oh, well, I guess there's two parts to that. There's the real estate market and the mortgage market. Okay. And they interact together, obviously, pretty big time, pretty big joint effort there. But the real estate market, Bradford can probably talk about this better than I can, but the real estate market is, there's a fundamental principle going on in the real estate market right now, which is supply and demand. And there is a long-term, gigantic undersupply of housing. It's something like 2 million homes that we need to fully house the people that we have in the U.S. that are ready to buy a house or rent one.
And we can't demand.
We can't just make that happen.
The
right,
supply, right? Because that's what I'd like to do as a real estate. I just want to demand we have supply and everybody be good.
And you can demand it all you want, but it doesn't happen tomorrow. But anyway, so the reason I bring that up is just as long as there's more demand than supply, housing prices will be stable or go up. And it doesn't, to some degree, it doesn't matter what happens with mortgages. Okay. It will have an impact, but as long as there's more demand than supply, then you're not going to have a housing collapse like you had in 2008 when we had a problem there. But as far as mortgages go, mortgages are a complex matter that are based on what the Fed does with the Fed funds rate and the money supply. And the Fed is charged with minimizing our inflation or trying to get it down to a target of 2%. A year ago, a little over a year ago, that inflation rate was close to 10%, which is pretty crazy. And it's pretty dangerous when you get into high inflation. Things can get out of control and everybody can be unable to afford groceries. If you look at Brazil or a country like that where inflation has gotten out of control, it's pretty crazy and it's a bad thing. So the Fed has been very focused on getting inflation under control. And they have brought it down from nearly 10% steadily and actually on an increasing arc downward to 3%.
Oh, wow.
Which is not something I think most people realize. Because we're still suffering from the cumulative effect of all that inflation that happened in prior months. So the groceries are still expensive, but they're not increasing as fast as they were. And so that is what the Fed is trying to accomplish. And when it accomplishes that, it'll quit increasing the Fed funds rate, and that in turn will affect mortgage rates. So I think the forecast for mortgage rates right now is they're currently a little under 7%, and they will stay in a 6 to 7% range for the time being. Maybe some people say through the end of the year. But as soon as the market determines that the Fed is done with raising the Fed funds rate, the mortgage rates will start to come down. And most people expect that the following year, mortgage rates will be in the 5s. So that's a long answer. That's a long answer to your short question.
Okay, perfect. Well, I understand that you change lives one mortgage at a time. How do you achieve that big goal?
That sounds pretty ambitious, doesn't it? But if you think about it, a mortgage is the biggest thing, biggest financial tool, biggest financial decision, biggest financial investment with a house for anyone, for any normal person. You know, if you're a millionaire and you own a whole bunch of, different properties and things and companies and all that, that's one thing. But the average human being, the biggest investment in their life will be the house that they buy.
That's right.
And the financial instrument for that is a mortgage. And so I take it very seriously, trying to do the best job I can to get each client the best mortgage I can.
Okay. So with dealing with a first-time home buyer, what are the steps that they need to have for you in order for you to give them that 5-star service?
There you go, 5-star real. I need to step up and become a 5-star mortgage banker, huh? So there's several factors that go into every mortgage application evaluation, and first-time home buyers are usually handicapped in many of those areas. a person who's already owned a home can sell that home, take the equity out of it, and use that for the cash they need for a down payment to buy another home. But if you're buying your first home and you don't happen to have $20,000 or $30,000 laying around, you know, that's a handicap in getting a mortgage and being able to buy a home. So the first thing is start saving money. But there's also your credit score, and there's a lot that can be done to help with that. I work with people, happy to work with people to help them improve their credit score, but sometimes that can take time. And so that's why I encourage people to get in touch with me or another qualified mortgage banker as early as possible. It's never too soon, particularly for a first-time home
When
buyer.
should somebody reach out to you?
If you're a first-time home buyer, now. If you're thinking about buying a home in the next 5 years, you should talk to me now.
Okay,
There's
so don't wait 4.5 years.
Yeah, right. There's no reason to wait except you don't want to talk about it because finances are never, you know, something anybody wants to jump up and talk about.
Well, I can just go online on my phone, and I can just put out that I want a mortgage, and I'll get all this. I'll get
You'll
all
get
these
a billion
answers right
answers.
away, and I'm
Yeah.
going to get a 5% interest rate now, maybe.
Yeah.
But I'm going to get all that information. I don't have to share all my information with you
That's right.
and embarrass myself because maybe my credit's not as good as I think it is, or, you know, I don't want you to know how much money I have.
Yeah.
So it seems like there's a lot of reluctance sometimes.
There is.
Of
There
people
is.
getting face to face.
Yeah.
But, you know, we like to make sure we talk to local lenders, people we can reach out and choke if something goes wrong.
Yeah.
People we can have a conversation with, and we're not talking to a machine somewhere. Some of these big banks that won't get named.
Well, first of all, those ads, those numbers you're going to get in the emails and, you know, the websites and all this, if you type in, I need a mortgage, you're going to get all sorts of crazy numbers. And
Even if you type in, I don't need a mortgage,
Yeah, right.
it's still
just the word
stuff to you.
just the word
Yeah.
mortgage, or if Siri overhears you saying it in the bathroom in the morning, I mean, you're gonna get a bunch of ads. So first of all, how do you know which ones of those are legit and which are scams?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and many of them are scams to one degree or another.
Right.
And the other thing is, you talked about you like to talk to local realtors. First of all, you're not going to talk to anybody with a lot of these ads and offers that you get over the internet. That's how they keep their prices low, is they have zero service or very little service.
Or if you do talk to somebody, it's probably not a trained mortgage person.
Right.
It's somebody. It's an order taker. Who's
It's a
filling
call
out
center.
numbers.
It's a call center that's designed to generate volume of business. And if your loan goes a little bit sideways or is a little bit complicated, they just drop it and walk away, and you're sitting there trying to buy a house, and it just isn't happening.
Yeah, we had a client recently who wanted to stand pat with who they were going with, and actually two sellers that we made offers to refused to accept it because there had been a bad track record.
If you're representing a seller, you know that there's the same dollar amount offer from different people with different financing. You know how to choose between those, right? If it's cash, that's the best offer, right? But then a local lender with a solid mortgage program versus some internet lender with some sketchy.
Yeah, so I tell our clients the best offer is the one that closes.
Right.
It has nothing to do. You can offer you $1 million for that $700,000 house, but if it's not going to close, you
And
got nothing.
that's where a good mortgage banker can ensure something goes through. You and I are working on one right now where it's gotten complicated and there's a lot of stuff to work out, and I am working angle after angle after angle to make that loan happen.
So I have a
That wouldn't
question.
happen over the internet.
So I have a question. How do you deal with someone with bad credit?
There's so many things that can be done to improve credit.
Okay.
Credit is not permanent.
Okay.
It's very variable and it changes from month to month. There's an abundance of things we can do to correct your credit. Some of them are pretty painless and easy. And
What are those things?
for example, you can get your Uncle Bradford here to put you on one of his credit cards as an authorized user, and that'll help your credit out.
Just keep selling houses, Joshua.
I don't think he's gonna let me do that one.
Well, and I don't know what Bradford's credit cards look like.
Yeah.
It's not that. I believe in fostering responsible finances.
For sure.
So.
For sure.
So, but that's one little trick is
Okay.
you can be added to someone's line of credit, be it a credit card or whatever else, as a quote authorized user. You don't actually have to have the card. You don't actually have to use the account, but it counts towards your credit score.
Okay.
And so it counts good or bad. So what you want is somebody with a credit card, for example, that's 20 years old. They've had it forever. They use it a lot, but they always pay it off every month. They've never been late. That sort of thing on that credit card. If they put you on as an authorized user, then that'll boost your credit. But if they put you on a credit card that's past due, with it's over the maximum credit limit, and it's
you get
past
that
due,
benefit too.
then you get your credit score might actually get tanked.
Yeah.
So but as long as it's a good credit score, you can improve your own that way. That's one little simple, easy way. Most of them are a little more trouble than that.
Okay.
But if you're willing to work at it, a lot of people feel like they're stuck with a bad credit score because they made mistakes in the past or whatever. But everything is fixable. It's just a matter of how much work and how much time.
So what would you do? What are the opportunities that are out there for first-time home buyers right now?
Oh Lord, there are so many programs. There's Home Ready and Home Possible from Fannie and Freddie.
So that's two different programs.
That's two different programs that do basically the same thing, but they both give better interest rates and lower mortgage insurance to first-time home buyers that fall within certain income categories. There's a new program that doesn't help with the mortgage insurance quite as much, but does give a break on the interest rates, and it goes up to an income maximum. There are income limits on each of these programs. So there's different programs for different levels of income that give different types of help with the home buying. And what we have to do is figure out the best way to get you the best mortgage possible. And part of that, which a lot of like internet lenders and other lenders that aren't real professionals at this don't do, is they don't look at the possibility of let's just look at your income, Bradford, and not count your spouse's income and see if you can qualify under the income limit for one of these programs. And if we can make that work, that gets you a better deal on your mortgage than just simply taking an application with you and your spouse on it and looking at that total income and saying, oh, we can't do that program.
Yeah.
Let's just do it.
In our reality, you get a hold of those people, whatever program they had that you signed up for, that's what you're in.
Well,
they're not going to look at several other options for
Right.
you.
So a lot of veterans come to me saying, I want a VA loan. And I say, are you sure you want a VA loan? Because it's not always the best deal. If you have a disability or a Purple Heart, they waive the funding fees, and that saves you thousands and thousands of dollars. And it's a no-brainer. It is a great benefit, and there's no doubt it's going to be your best mortgage option. But if you don't have that disability, and this is your second time using your VA, and you're going to keep the house for 2 years because you're PCSing out, it's not going to be the best option. And you're making a mistake to just get a VA loan. But if you go to the wrong lender and say, I want a VA loan, they give you a VA loan, and that may not be the best thing for you. But the one thing I really want to mention, since you asked about first-time home buyers, is Movement Mortgage, my employer. We have just come out with a program called Boost, and it helps first-time home buyers who just can't come up with the down payment.
Wow. Okay,
and so what it is we take a FHA loan, which is the most forgiving criteria, so we can get people qualified that are borderline. We can get them qualified under an FHA loan, and then the Boost program is a second mortgage that pays the down payment for them and allows them to pay that off over 10 years. As a second mortgage. Now it does add a little bit more to their monthly payment for that first 10 years, but it allows them to get in there and not wait until they can save, enough money to have a down payment. So it's a great option for people who just can't, the rent's so dang high, they can't save the money to get out of the rent and buy a house.
Yeah,
and,
it's $1,600 average rent for a 900 square foot home in Savannah, Georgia. For you folks who are in California, I know, I'm sorry, that only covers a shoebox, but here in Savannah, it'll get you a whopping 900 square feet.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, I just got one more question. How can the people get in contact with you, Chris?
Oh, the best way to reach me is call me on my cell phone. It's 912-658-2799. Just give me a call there, and I'll be glad to help you. And I'm available pretty much 24/7, 365.
Well, thank you so much, Chris. And I just got to cut it short right now. Thank you again, Chris, with the network at Movement Mortgage. Again, this is the Dream Builders Podcast, and our mission is to help buyers, sellers, and agents connect with the resources and knowledge to achieve their real estate goals. This podcast is sponsored by Page Properties team, the Dream E.N.T, Real Estate for a Reason, make real estate fun again. Y'all be blessed, and I catch you on the next episode. Peace.